Q Nation, man. Today we're looking at Fantastic Four First Steps, man. This is my review from the movie. I'm not going to take much of your time. Let's just blitz through this. You know what I'm saying? Now, this movie, if you know, it stars Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. It stars Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. It stars Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. It stars Ebon Moss as The Thing, and everybody else is in the film. All right, it's all good. Now, is this movie good or bad or whatever? Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, this movie is just fine. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's not fantastic. It's not great. It's just fine. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you the good. The good in this movie. The visual effects, on point. Very good. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there are one or two things we go, especially with Baby Franklin. I was like, okay, it is what it is. They tried. I was like, yeah, okay. And of course, one or two things here and there. As you've been watching movies for this long, especially Marvel movies and superhero movies, you would say, I can see it. My eyes can see it. You can't trick me no more. I can see it. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I love the aesthetic. I ain't gonna hold you. The 60s vibe, that 60s futuristic vibe, kind of like the Jetsons meets the Incredibles. It was great. I was like, wow, bro. They could actually do a live action Incredibles and do it really well if they really wanted to. It was really, I was like, wow. That was good. And one thing I also appreciate is that this movie doesn't feel like it's part of the MCU at all. It feels like its own contained universe. It's doing its own thing. And you don't have to watch any of the other movies to catch up or find out what's going on. Any references, just watch the movie straight up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Fantastic. I loved it. I love the idea of it. I love the aesthetic, the world building of it. You know what I mean? It's its own contained thing. It's not a sequel. It's not a setup to something else. It's just its own movie doing its thing. Yes, it has a mid credit scene, has a end, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's there. Of course it is. You know what I'm saying? It's MCU. They're going to put that in there. All right. But for the most part, it's its own thing. And it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I love the visual effects on Galactus. He looked amazing in the movie. He looked menacing. He looked, like, whoa, the voice, everything else, man. He did it. You know what I'm saying? Silver Surfer, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, she's basically a naked silver girl. You know what I'm saying? And, it's all right. It's all right. It's not as terrible as it is in the trailer. It looks much better. They actually did some work on her. She looks good. You know what I mean? It's not terrible. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's good. It's fine. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's all right there. So yeah, with the visual effects and special effects, whatever you call it, it's on point. It's good. It's not terrible. It's not trash. It's actually not bad. It's actually it's probably the best Marvel work I've seen in a while, because the other Marvel movies, you've seen them, man. The visuals are, it is what it is. But here, much better. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about the acting. The acting is good. You know what I'm saying? Vanessa Kirby, as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as a friend, she knocks out the park, man. She does a very good job. You know what I'm saying? Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, he did his thing, man. If you've watched season 4 of Stranger Things, Eddie, I loved him, man. Joseph Quinn killed it. He's a very good actor, and here too, he does his thing. Ebon Moss playing The Thing, he does a great job here too, man. Him and Joseph Quinn, they're dynamic. Chef's kiss, man. I loved it, man. I wish we saw more of it. I wish we saw more of The Thing. They did kind of try to kind of do one or two things with him and something else with what he's going through. They don't go deep into it. It kind of is there and it's there and gone. But it is what it is. I'm sure they're saving it for other movies. I don't know which movie, because Avengers is coming, so I don't know what they're going to do there. But for the most part, thing was good. He did his thing, and I wish I saw more of him. We had more of that. You know what I'm saying? Pedro Pascal is Pedro Pascal. I mean, at this point, he's basically Pedro Pascal. I don't know what to tell you, right? He's a good actor. He did his thing here. He was stoic when he had to be. He had some emotional moments towards the end, especially. But he's mostly just he plays an intelligent dude. Like, I'm a scientist. I'm very smart. I'm the smartest person on the planet. And that's what he plays. He plays that kind of stoic scientist thing. You know what I'm saying? There were moments where, he and Sue have a back and forth on certain things, and you see one or two things here and there. But you could argue that some part of his acting is wooden, where it's like he's not emoting more in scenes where you thought he would emote. He just kind of just says his lines, and he looks kind of, and you're just like, oh, okay. But this is a big tuning he's like, nah, okay. So you go there, and it is what it is, and you kind of, you know what I'm saying. Now, Galactus as a character. I thought they did a really good job with Galactus. His voice was amazing. The way they portrayed him was menacing. He was, you know what I mean? His Galactus, like, woo, you know what I mean? Especially with one or two things, like, with the Fantastic Four, he really goes into it. Like, he's like, wow, okay. I really liked his portrayal, like, of their portrayal of Galactus was actually really good. Of course, far better than the freaking fart cloud of Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. He's Galactus, you know what I'm saying? Purple, big, cosmic, glowing eyes. Yes, they knocked out the park with that. His visuals, chef's kiss. Good, loved it. The acting, really good. Now Silver Surfer, as a character actor, it was alright. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. I think they did a much better job with Rise of the Silver Surfer, with that character, with that movie, because that movie really focused on him because of the Silver Surfer before they focused on Galactus as a character or as a threat. They focused on him as the threat. So the movie was really around him. So you got a lot more character development here. But here, we already know about is Galactus and this was going on. So with her, she doesn't do much, right? She's kind of just like part of the plot, right? She arrives, says her thing, flies away, does some other stuff here and there. She's not in the movie that much. It's just one or two things, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, towards the end, they do some emotional stuff with her, especially with her and Johnny, kind of like a thing there. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's not, it's like, okay, it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's not trash, it's fine. It's all right, you know what I'm saying? I think that's about it. Yeah, with all the acting. Okay, what else is also good in this movie? I think that's about it. You know what I'm saying? There was some visual sequences with them going to space that was really cool. Like, that had to do with the Silver Surfer and Galactus. I thought that was really cool. Visual sequence that was really cool. In the ending too, the visual sequence was actually not bad. It wasn't terrible. It was, you know what I mean? Like, it was, for the visual, it was actually pretty good. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? The use of their powers visually was also really good. With Johnny, with Sue and the Thing, their power set, and then even Mr. Fantastic, they do some good stuff visually. Like, okay, you know what I mean? You can buy it, how they're using the powers. So it's all pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the good out the way. I think that's most of the good here. I'm trying to think of any other good. No, that's basically most of the good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mention about Pedro's Pascal emotional moments. He does have it towards the end. So you do see him emote more in that point, but there are times where it's like, wait, he's really wooden and all that kind of stuff. That's the acting side. So that's good and over there. What else? Yeah, I think that's mainly the good. Okay, that's mainly the good of Fantastic Four. Now let's come to the bad. All right. So the bad of this movie is this: there's a lot of plot conveniences that happen and convoluted stuff that happen where the movie requires you to switch your brain off. Now, with me, I think the best movies are the ones where it actually engages your brain. You know what I'm saying? Yes, every movie, even the greatest ones, have plot holes in, especially movies that have to do with fantastical stuff, right? There's some plot holes in them, but those plot holes are not really egregious and crazy, and plot conveniences are not that crazy where you forgive the movie for that because it kind of makes sense anyway. Not all the way, but it's enough. The storytelling is good enough that you kind of just put that to the side. You know what I'm saying? Big major one, Lord of the Rings. The three, possibly known as the greatest trilogy of all time. The biggest plot thing that happened there, right? What do we talk about years later? The Eagles. What's up with the Eagles? I remember, if you know, you know, right? And we kind of brush it off because those movies are so fantastic, right? No pun intended. Or is that intended? I don't know. Either way, fantastic. Those three movies are great, fantastic films. So, yes, the Eagles stuff where, why didn't you just get the Eagles to do the... Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, okay. No, wait, nah. Three great movies of all time. No. Three great trilogy of all time. Okay? But, yeah, let it go. You know what I mean? Because it's such a great trilogy that we don't think about it. And then we find ways to explain why they didn't use the Eagles and all that kind of stuff, because that's how the movies are really that good. So we kind of just put it outside, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes great storytelling can trump a lot of plot conveniences and contrivances and all that kind of stuff. So you just kind of let it go. With this, however, the movie is not at that point of storytelling greatness. So the brain is still like, no, I'm not, I know, you know what I mean? There's some stuff that happens in the movie with them and Galactus and Reed being the smartest person on the planet and they're planning of one or two things to defeat Galactus. And you're just kind of going, I can't switch off my brain. How are you gonna do this? You know what I mean? Explain it. It's like, oh, we're gonna do this to achieve that. And you're like, huh? Like, do you know how much power you would need to what? It's like, nah, bro, nah. And I was like, I get it. It's a comic book movie, but it doesn't. No, bro. The only way these movies work, or fantasy work, or whatever works, is there has to be some suspension of disbelief. It has to be there. Without that suspension of disbelief, a lot of your films will fall flat. You need some foundation of reality somewhere where we can latch onto it so that we're in. But if the movie is, it's like watching Game of Thrones, right? And in season 8, a freaking spaceship arrives and says, hey, we're here to save the planet from the White Walkers. And you're like, what the hell? Where did that come from? It will throw you out of the film because it doesn't make sense for the world that's been created, right? Same thing. I'm not saying this movie does that to that point. I'm just making like a point here. You know what I'm saying? You need suspension. The world you're in has to have some sort of reality that you can grab onto. You know what I'm saying? And move forward. Now, you could argue, well, this film does kind of do that. But not really. It just comes out with the plan and we're all just supposed to be on board. And you're like, huh? And then there's some plot conveniences with Galactus as well, where you're like, why didn't he just... that was your chance, right? You want this. They've presented to you on a plate. They're literally saying, here we are. You want this, right? You've seen it in the trailer, right? He wants something from the Fantastic Four. And they literally present themselves. He just has to just go... and there's nothing they could do about it. Because they've agreed that he is the cosmic... There's nothing they can do. They can't defeat the guy. Right? The only way is to do something else. Because they realize that, wow, he is really that menacing. That's the good I would say. They really make Galactus a menacing threat. That this guy is not to be played with. If they're not careful, they're done. But there's like the point where... and like I said, I'm not going to go into spoilers here, where they literally present themselves. It's like, here we are. And he's like, okay. And you're like, well, can't you just... literally just... it's like, yeah, just, there you go. You know what I mean? But you could argue that he needs Sue to do something before he can take what he needs. But at the same time, are you trying to tell me that he's that kind? Where he's like, okay, you know what? I've given you my ultimatum, so I'm going to wait for you to make your decision and then give me what I want. Or what I want is staring me right in the face. I can just take it. But he doesn't. And I was just like, that's a plot convenience. And we have a whole action sequence. And you're like, what? Because it's Galactus. They nerf him when they have to, right? And then they show him when it's a bit straight. I was like, okay. So the plot conveniences and contrivances and a lot of things, it requires, there's not enough reality for you to ground your mind. So it's like, okay, brain switch off. But maybe I'm getting too old now. I don't know. I'm not old. I'm not saying I'm old, but you know what I mean? Like I've watched movies for so long. I've been in the movie world for so long now. It's gotten to the point where I can't just be like, you know what I mean? My brain is always active, right? I can enjoy the film, but if the movie starts doing something where I'm like, what? Excuse me. It's like, you know what I mean? Even when I was watching it in the cinema, like the people next to me, like if you know when you watch a movie, that's when you know that the movie is kind of going somewhere. Because when you start glancing around, then you know, okay, this movie is not really engaging me. So I kind of glanced around and you look at some people's reactions, right? Next to me, just kind of like, and they're young. So I can't be the only one. It's like, bro, what? What do you mean? And then some other stuff happens. And like I said, I don't want to go into spoilers here because you guys should watch the movie for yourself and decide for yourself. But bruh, there's some plot conveniences here with Galactus and the female Silver Surfer, and you're just like and also with Johnny Storm. There's something he does in the film where I was like, oh come on, man, I'm sorry, nah. Especially at the most crucial time, he pulls it out of his ass, and you're like, what? You're just like, wait a minute, wait. Where did that come from? And it does something to the female Silver Surfer. I keep calling female. I'm sorry because she's the my Silver Surfer is Norman Rad. I'm not being whatever. I'm just so I keep calling the female Silver Surfer. Sorry, sorry about that. All right. And yeah, and it does something, and then she just and I was like, well, that was convenient. He just happened to very nice. Hey, and I was like, wait, am I watching the same movie? Did I miss something? Maybe I missed something. Maybe I don't remember. But I was like, wait, what? It was, So there was that. Plot conveniences, man. A lot of plot conveniences with Galactus where it's like, okay, it's not a spoiler, but let me give you an example. Game of Thrones, right? Do you remember how long it took the Night King to finally arrive to the wall? I don't know if you remember that. I remember that time a lot of people were making jokes about it. Whereas like, especially after like season 5, right? Season 5, where what's his name? Jon Snow is like to Sam, the Night King has the largest army in the world, over 100,000, whatever. And you're like, so why didn't he just march on the wall? We all started making excuses. Oh, he needs this, he needs that, he needs this. Turns out, nah, he doesn't need anything. I was like, oh wait, he was waiting for the dragon, which is like, really? That's what he was waiting for, a dragon to come over? Well, how did he know about that? It was just, come on, man. But it took him so long to get to the freaking wall and do his thing. And you're just like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the same thing here, whereas like, Galactus is just very kind and let things play out. You could argue that, he's salivating his meal or he's just being Galactus. And you know what? I don't really care about this. But at the same time, you're just going, bro, you're really giving them a chance, aren't you? It was just like I said, there's a lot of plot conveniences, a lot of contrivances, some convolution here and there, where you're just going, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. More than a little bit, actually. I was just kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, some stuff happens with Galactus towards the end, where you're just going, oh my God. And something happens with the Fantastic Four and him when they're fighting, and then there's something that happens with him where it was like, bruh, for me, it was cringe. It was very cringe. I get it, the moment is very emotional and impactful, especially with Sue Storm. It's a very deep emotional scene where she's like, no, kind of thing. But the way it's shot and the way they make him look as he's doing whatever he's doing, it's just like, what? It made him look a little bit, because you have this big menacing, I'm Galactus, right? And then all of a sudden, Sue is doing something, and it just looks, it's just, I remember I was watching, I turned, and some people just grinning, people what? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Male and females, they're just like, eye rolling, and kind of like, oh God, what? You know what I mean? They're just making faces. It looked weird. It looked kind of cringe and strange, where you're just going, what? You know what I mean? So for me, it was unintentionally funny. It just looked weird. It's like, what? It's like she's doing, and then you've seen the trailer, right, where she does this, and it's just like it's just like, oh no! It's like, okay. Now the team do all come together and do one or two things, but it literally just looked like anyway, I don't want to spoil it. When you watch that part, you see what I'm talking about. It looked funny to me. Just her, and this is like, I get it, right? It's not a bad thing that she's doing that, but the way they shot it, to me, looked funny. And the people who I was watching it with, at least to some, they're just like, it was just funny. To me, it's not a bad scene, but it's funny. It's unintentionally funny to me. You know what I'm saying? When you watch it, you see what I'm talking about. Like, no! And he's being dragged, and you're just kind of going, okay. It's like, okay, so you're menacing cosmic Galactus. Galactus is the end, or like he's one of the final bosses. You know what I'm saying? Cosmic being he's all powerful cosmic being. He's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Usually it takes all of the Avengers, everybody, just to defeat the guy. Even defeat him is even a strong word. To kind of like appease him. You know what I mean? Make him not do the thing anymore. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my comic book mind and what I've seen in the animated stuff here and there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of a bad as well. I think I mentioned the thing they should give him more screen time, more stuff to do because he's great. He's good anyway. Yeah, I think that's the bad. That's my main gripes of this film. Plot conveniences, plot contrivances, a lot of things here and there. He's going, yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was just like, you know what I mean? It's cool, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but apart from that, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of something else, but yeah, that's what I can remember from the film. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So anyway, overall, this movie to me, like I said in the beginning, is fine. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine movie. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's just fine. You know what I mean? It's part of the Marvel thing, the MCU. Is it better than all the movies than the movies they've brought out? Absolutely. This for me better than Thunderbolts, better than Captain America, whatever, Falcon Soldier, whatever the hell that's called, and whatever. This is a much better movie in these runs, right? Like I said, it felt like its own universe, its own thing. You wouldn't even know it's part of the MCU until you see the mid credit scene and all that. Oh wait, guys, don't forget it's the MCU. So, oh right, okay. But apart from that, if this was its own movie without anything, it would still be a solid, fine film. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for once, it's not trash. It's not whatever. It's a fine film. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. So I hope the MCU can build on it, and let's see what happens in the next ones. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling that if this movie does really well at the box office, they're gonna make Pedro Pascal the leader of the new Avengers. I'm sure. They are banking on this movie to make a lot of money so that they can say, okay, Fantastic Four are the leaders. Because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, they don't have anything. Spider-Man's a bit young to lead anybody right now, in my own opinion. So they're looking for something. I'm sure they want Pedro Pascal to lead the new Avengers. So let's see. That could be interesting, although you already have Thor still around, right? I think. And yeah, so anyway, I don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, guys, this movie is fine. Would I recommend you go and watch it? I wouldn't watch it again. I watched it once. I'm good. I won't watch it again. But I would say go and watch it and make your own decision for yourself. But if you know you can't, because nowadays things are expensive, you know what I mean, Charlie? It's not easy. That's my Ghanaian in me. You know what I mean? Charlie, it's not easy. Hey, it no be now. That's the Ghana man in me speaking, man. It's not easy. It's not easy, man. On your pocket, it's not easy. So if you know you can't really afford it and you don't want to spend that money and you want to wait maybe on streaming or whatever, go for it. You know, I wouldn't say that. This, for me, this is not a must-see movie. It's not a must-see movie at all, right? It's a fine film. You can wait for it to come out on streaming and watch it. For me, it's a fine film. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to watch the movie again. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go and spend money to watch the movie instantly again. So it's a fine film. If you can afford it, go for it. If you can't, you know that it's going to be a bit weird in your pocket, wait for it to come out. It's not a must-see. It's a fine film. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's it. Anyway, Q Nation, please, if you enjoyed my review, my first review on this channel, please give this a big like. You know what I'm saying? If you want to see more of my reaction reviews on the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Hit the notification button, hit all the notifications to be updated every time I video. Please leave a comment down below and please share the video. Let's have a good time. Let's have a vibe. You know what I'm saying? My first review. I hope I did. I hope I did the Q Nation proud. You know what I'm saying? My first review, man. So it is what it is. I hope I'm getting more reviews on this channel. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, to all my subscribers, everyone that watches me, you're awesome people. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for your support as always. And by God's grace, I will see you on the next reaction or review. Please take care.